Hola muchachos, ¿qué tal? Buenos días. Aquí tienen el horario para hoy, martes el 14 de febrero. Feliz día de San Valentín. Feliz día de los enamorados. All right, due for today was your guys' presentación oral. I'm going to give you a little bit of time toward the end of class today to work on and or submit this assignment. You can click here for detailed instructions on how to complete this assignment. You can also look at the daily agenda video from last class. Remember that this is an oral presentation, not a written presentation, and that these are the 4 questions that you're answering. Check out the videos posted here and in the daily agenda from last class for detailed instructions on how to complete this oral presentation. The other thing is to continue working on your project, which is due on March 6th or March 7th for you B-Day classes, and there's nothing due for next class. Nor will there be any homework over the 4-day weekend either. So just working on your project from now until then. Daily objectives, using the past tense to talk about what you did recently to help around the house, identifying various places and landmarks in your local community, and we'll do a quick review on time. Warm-up question actually needs the vocabulary on page 126. We're actually going to look at that now. And I did not assign you Quizlet since there's a significant portion of you that don't even do the assignment. So it's not working, I think, for many. So we're just going to do it the old-fashioned way in terms of reviewing the vocabulary and just take it down in our notebook. So go ahead and create a page dedicated to the vocabulary for Chapter 3A, which we're going to start next class, but we need the vocabulary to be able to do that. So on page 126, 126, go ahead and put the title Vocabulario Repaso. And all the vocabulary here refer to landmarks throughout our community. Los lugares are places. And these are different places or landmarks in our community. And then these are different areas throughout the home. And underneath each of those categories or places in the home are different things that we do to help around the house. Chores, if you will. So I'm going to go through each category with you, as I don't think there's a place in the textbook where you can find these key terms. These are actually in Spanish 1 that they're originally introduced. So the first category is in el dormitorio, and that's in your room or in the dormitory, literally, but this is bedroom. And the 2 verbs arreglar el cuarto mean to clean your room, and hacer la cama is to make your bed. The next category, en la cocina, is in the kitchen. Cocinar is to cook. Dar de comer al perro or gato is to feed your dog or cat. Of course, you could replace perro and gato with livestock or other pets, animals you may caretake. Lavar los platos is to clean the dishes. Poner la mesa is to set the table. And separar is to separate bottles, cans, glass, periodicals like newspaper or magazines, and cardboard, cartón. Botellas, latas, vidrio, periódicos y cartón. The next category, en otros cuartos, are other rooms throughout the house. Cuarto is room, so in other rooms throughout the home. Ayudar is to help. Lavar la ropa is to wash your clothes. Limpiar el baño is to clean the bathroom. Pasar la aspiradora is to vacuum. Quitar el polvo is to dust. Cortar, yeah, that's that category. And then in the next category, I skipped ahead there, forgive me. Fuera de la casa is outside the house. So in the backyard or front yard. Cortar el césped is to mow the lawn. Lavar el coche is to wash the car. Sacar la basura is to take out the trash. Trabajar en el jardín is to work in the garden. All right, this last category, los lugares, are places throughout the community. El barrio is neighborhood. La calle is street. And then the rest of these are more or less cognates, similar to what they mean in English, and how they're written and how they're pronounced. El cine is cinema or movie theater. La comunidad is community. El estadio is stadium. El hospital is hospital. El monumento is monument. El museo is museum. And el teatro is theater. So utilizing that vocabulary, let's take a look at your warm-up. Your warm-up is to pick 3 of those chores that are outlined on page 126 and indicate how recently you or someone else in your family did those chores using the preterite tense that we've been looking at for the past couple weeks now. So pick a verb, 3 of them from page 126. Use one of those expressions of time that we looked at the beginning of our review of the preterite. Expressions like ayer, anoche, la semana pasada, hace 3 días, esta mañana. You have those in your notes from 2 weeks back. Using those expressions of time, or you could express the time itself if you want to, like you've done for the past few warm-ups. And then the verbs themselves are going to be conjugated in the preterite. So some examples here. Yo limpié el baño anteayer. Anteayer meaning the day before yesterday. Yo organicé mi cuarto, and then I'm missing a time marker there. We'll say esta mañana. And the time can also go at the very beginning as well. Mi hermana y yo pasamos la aspiradora la semana pasada. Or la semana pasada, mi hermana y yo pasamos la aspiradora. So 3 that you've done recently, or you and someone in your family, or maybe even someone else you can talk about in the third person. Once you're done with your warm-up, then we're going to go ahead and knock out exercise 1 back into the textbook. And it's more or less a continuation of your warm-up. Los quehaceres is the title for our agenda for today. Quehaceres are chores. So, ¿quién en tu familia hizo estos quehaceres? Who in your family did these chores recently? And these are all chores from the vocabulary. Lavar los platos, to do the dishes. Arreglar el cuarto, to clean your room. Cocinar, we're just going to take out pollo and put cocinar, just simply to cook. Limpiar el baño, to clean the bathroom. Sacar la basura, to take out the trash. Pasar la aspiradora, to vacuum. And lavar la ropa, to do the laundry. So just like your warm-up, for each of these verbs, indicate who in your family, either you or you and a sibling, you and a parent, or talk about a sibling, a parent, guardian, grandmother, grandfather, what have you, stepbrother, stepfather, stepsister, stepmother, that did those activities recently. So very similar to your warm-up. And then also include the time marker as well. How long ago, or when exactly, cuando los hizo, when they did those chores. And then to wrap up for today, we're going to take a quick review of telling time. Again, your project for this chapter is 20 things that you guys did over the course of a day, a weekend, a week, whatever increment of time you'd like to refer to. So a quick review of telling time, how to ask about time, how to indicate at what time something takes place, some different examples here, and don't need to pay too much mind to expressions that we use when it's getting to be the top of the hour. A lot of different ways to express time as it's getting close to turning to a new hour, as they review here with you. And then the expressions of time in terms of the times of day, and how to refer to time in terms of being early, late, and on time. Just as a review, we're going to do exercise 3. On page 127, escribe frases para decir a qué hora. So write phrases to say at what time you do the following activities. Just like your daily routine project that you guys did last semester. So for example, a qué hora, at what time, te levantas durante la semana? What time do you get up usually during the week? Me levanto, so you're going to take the verb that's provided and conjugate it in the yo form. For this example, me levanto a las 6. Let's take a look at the questions. A qué hora te acuestas los fines de semana? What time do you usually go to bed on the weekends? ¿A qué hora te despiertas los fines de semana? What time do you wake up on the weekends? ¿A qué hora almuerzas durante la semana? What time do you have lunch during the week? ¿Y a qué hora regresas a casa después de las clases? What time do you return home after school? Notice that the verbs are conjugated in the present, not in the past, because we're talking about generally, normally in the present. And these verbs, if you want to review, are on page 96, if I'm not mistaken, of the textbook, the glossary at the end of chapter 2A, the chapter we did at the end of last semester. Numbers 5 and 6, you don't need to change the conjugation because the subject isn't you, it's your favorite class and your favorite TV program. ¿A qué hora empieza tu clase favorita? Mi clase de español empieza a las, and then whatever time that particular class begins. And then, ¿a qué hora empieza tu programa de televisión favorito? Now, this is a little bit outdated. We watch our favorite programs whenever, for the most part, right? Probably you guys watch it on demand. So, when do you usually watch your favorite television shows? Mi programa de televisión favorito empieza a las 8 de la noche, or whatever time. And that's where we'll conclude for today's agenda. Make sure to turn in your oral presentation by the end of today, and any time remaining in class, you guys can work on that. Watch the video instructions for how to go about that. Not looking for a perfect submission, looking for a perfect effort. Perfect effort consists of using the key vocabulary for this chapter, which can be found on page 124, and giving it your best effort, and not using any online translators to produce full, complete sentences. So look forward to your submissions of those. And that is all for today, muchachos. Hasta luego.